All right, everybody. We're live here on the C. Allen Morning Show. Let that play a minute. Coming to you 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We have an awesome, powerful show for you today, everyone. If you're just tuning in, this is the C. Allen Morning Show.
When Jesus hung.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Listen, I tell you, I am so super excited today. Today on the C. Allen Morning Show, we're doing our part 2. Thank you. We're doing our part 2 of our rejection series. This is our final. Thank you, Alonzo. This is our final topic on our final segment on rejection. And I tell you, we received so many emails from listeners. Let me give out my email address. So some of you, if the show have touched you, or you wanted to add something, or if you wanted to just comment, you want to make sure that you go to, it's kind of long, so you want to write it down, and it's TheCALAN morningshow@gmail.com. Again, it's the C. Allen morningshow@gmail.com. This is where you can send me an email and kind of talk to me about, from show topics to all sorts of things. You can email me there. Good morning, Trendy.
Good morning, C. Allen. Good morning, everyone.
I tell you, we're just really excited. We are talking about, our topic today is on your mark, get set, go. Let me say that again.
Say it again.
Last week we talked about rejection. We discussed why do people feel rejected, how to deal with rejection, how to cope with rejection, signs to make you notice that you've been rejected. And then we talked about that, and we try to put a positive spin to being rejected, but there's really not a lot of positive things besides that things happen for a purpose, for a reason.
That's right.
So today we decided that we would switch gears now that we realize, or now that we understand that there was some rejection there that had us to feel the way we felt. We must now understand that after the storm, after going through the rain, rejection, heartache, and pain, it's now time to get in our lane.
All right.
So what we're going to do
Wait. Can you say that one more time?
Lord
that was
have mercy,
good.
Trendy. There
now
you
that one was good. Can you say it one more time?
Okay, because then Trendy being real nice because she didn't meet us on our excursion on yesterday. So we'll talk about that. So, but listeners, I want you to pull out your pen and paper, because today we have a word for you. Our topic today is on your mark, get set, go.
Yes.
And that's a 3 command. When we're talking about racing, to start a race, a 3 command: on your march, get set, go. So what I said earlier, Trendy, is now that we have been through the storm and the rain, rejection, heartache, and pain, it's now time to get in our lane.
I like that.
Because when we think about on your mark, that means to get in your lane. What is it that you're trying to do? You see, many times we are all over the place. How many people we know, too many irons in the fire? They say too many hands in the pot spoil the sauce. What about how many people we know have too much going on at the same time? And they're all over the place. Well, it's because oftentimes, it is difficult to try to run everything. I want you to think about when I have the school. I have the salons. At one time, I had a makeup line, Joya Cosmetics. We have the daycare. We do conferences. We do classes. At the end of the day, Trendy, I had to realize that something is not going to get its fullest potential. Now, I'm talking to some of you today that you do this at the church, you do that at the church, you still go part-time at this place, you volunteer here, you do this, you do that. You're stretching yourself thin, meaning that something is going to be missing.
Yeah, something's going to suffer.
Something is going to suffer. So today, when we talk about on your mark, we must understand that you need to stay in your lane. What do we mean by staying in our lane? First of all, you need to mind your business. Put God first. Know what you want. Don't take on more than you can handle, because I tell you, when we talk about taking on more than you can handle, there's signs that I found that I can tell when people aren't on their mark. You're doing too much.
Okay.
You discombobulated. You all over the place. You don't have a clear vision. You know, as you're talking to them, they're trying to talk out their vision. Let me give you a good example.
Okay.
I'm teaching the CEU classes. And Alonzo, they come up to me all excited because I taught a really good class. You know, my class is inspirational. And they come up and they say, well, Mr. Bennett, I need some help, because what I was trying to do was, and they go on and on and on trying to talk out their vision or trying to make sense of what they think that they want to do, but they don't have a clear, concise method.
Okay.
So when we talk about getting on your mark and staying in your lane, we're talking about making sure that you have a clear understanding, because oftentimes when you're not on your mark, like I said before, you're discombobulated, you don't have a clear vision, you're not placing priorities, and most importantly, you haven't thought it out. You haven't made it clear. It kind of goes back to, what is your purpose?
Yes.
When we say on your mark, we're talking about staying in your lane. We're talking about, think about a race.
Yeah.
And think about how before we take off, now I want y'all to pay attention because I'm going somewhere. Think about how before we take off, there is a place where we have to first get into our zone. Get into our lane.
That's the truth. And you know, when you first start off to get on your mark, you have to have the vision. You have to have the plan. You have to come already knowing what the purpose is. What are you running toward? What are you running after? If you don't know what you're running after, you'll just be running just because. So we have to identify what the purpose is. What is the target? What is it that you're trying to achieve? And get ready for that. You know, get in place. Position yourself. Because if anything is going to take place, anything significant, you have to be in place. You got to be in position. Absolutely.
And then when we think about being on your mark, you know, it goes back to what I was saying, what Linda was saying. You must have a clear vision or plan. You have to know how to execute it.
Yeah.
You know, which means that your finances need to be together.
All right.
Working on your credit. You know, ready to see it to the end. You know, it's important for you to make sure that before we go any further, you first have to stay in your lane.
Yes.
First you got to get in your lane.
Get in your lane. Get in your lane.
Because you know what happens? Oftentimes, we are all over the place. And 1 minute, I wish Henry was here so I could talk about it. 1 minute we want to do this.
That never stops you any other time,
okay.
sir.
Because 1 minute he's doing graphics. 1 minute he's doing tattoos. 1 minute he's being an artist. All of this.
Then he being a barber.
You have to, first and foremost, in order... We just talked about being rejected. In order to now to pull ourselves together, we first have to understand and realize where we're supposed to be, our place. And I feel, Linda, that Trendy, a lot of people, the problem is they don't know their place.
True. And you know, another problem is we're so busy looking in other people's lane. You know, you're so busy worrying about what Tina and Tom is doing. You're so worried about what the Bennetts have and don't have that you can't focus on what you need to do. So that's a big problem. Get focused. Get the purpose, get the vision, get the plan, and get a focus. That's important.
All right, so let's just pause right here. We have our Beauty in a Moment with Rashida Franklin. This will give our listeners an opportunity to get their pen and papers ready, because today our topic is on your mark, get set, go. Good morning, Ms. Franklin.
Good morning, C. Allen. Good morning, Trendy Lindy. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Absolutely. And good morning, listeners. This is licensed cosmetologist and makeup artist Rashida Franklin, and this is your Beauty in a Minute. Many women, regardless of age or experience, many women, regardless of age, experience thinning hair. Whether you are thinning due to alopecia or maturity, there are several things you can do to camouflage thinning hair. Number one, go ombre. Starting with a darker base and slowly getting lighter towards the ends creates the visual effect of thicker hair. Add multidimensional color. Have your stylist use different tones and levels to create a soft, multidimensional look. Create volume with your haircut. Adding layers throughout your hair creates lift, volume, and movement. Strong bangs with soft layers or a side swoop fringe with soft layers create the cut a much denser appearance and will make the hair look less fine and fragile. Make sure you reach out to your stylist to find your desired look if you are dealing with thinning hair. This is licensed cosmetologist and makeup artist Rashida Franklin, and that was your Beauty in a Minute.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Franklin. First, I want to say happy birthday. Your
Happy
birthday was on yesterday. Happy birthday, Ms.
Yes.
Franklin.
Thank you.
Also, just to let you know that it was so much shade at the table if you're not there that every time, so they didn't call you Rashida Franklin, they just said you was number 9. And also, I'm saying this because they listened this morning, everybody had on sunshades and they put their napkins over their face, and all of the tasks that no one wanted to do, they said it's going to go to number 9. And I said, then wait a minute. Today is, I told them yesterday, I said, today is her birthday. She just coming back from a conference. She's on fire, but she's also tired, and she want to enjoy her day. Now, you can't hold that against her, because their biggest issue was that you switched the time and didn't show up. Lord have mercy.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And you know what? To all the assistants and Trendy Lindy, I want to apologize. It was such a challenge getting back from St. Louis yesterday. I almost missed my flight in St. Louis. There was an extreme layover in Atlanta. I was so tired and so drained. Happy to be back, and I did just want to rest and enjoy the rest of my day. But I'll be number 9. That's all right. I'll take it.
Okay, so Rashida, this is Easter week. We started today our music. He would not come down from the cross just to save us. One of my favorite songs during this time of the year. What kind of Easter specials do you have? We don't have that much time. What kind of Easter specials?
That's all right. Easter specials all weekend long. $25 wrapping curls, $25 roller sets, $25 full face makeovers, $10 lashes, all weekend long.
Okay, very good.
All weekend long. Come in and get your skin analyzed. Come and get an anti-aging facial with my favorite Nerium International products. Come and get beautified for Easter.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, so Ms. Franklin, give out your phone number, please.
They can reach me at 301-792-5697. That's 301-792-5697.
Okay, very good. All right, well, that was licensed cosmetologist Rashida Franklin. We got to go to a commercial break. So, Rashida, 301-792-5697 for those who are interested in getting either a makeover, getting the Easter do. For this week, she's going to be taking appointments all week. She has specials that she's running. She's at our Sea Island Signature Salon at 705 Florida Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. It's right next to the Gospel Spreading Bookstore. And we do have parking in the rear. I will also be there this week also, just to kind of help out the team. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Rashida. And we look forward to seeing you this week. All right, everybody. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go back to our topic. On your mark, get set, go. We'll be right back after these messages.
1450 WOL.
Good morning. It's WOL Traffic Updates brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life. On 1st and 8th Street Northwest, it was an accident not far from Union Station in that area. Will be directed around that by police. They're also working an accident on Georgia Avenue at Peabody Street, so look for a little bit of a backup there and also police direction. Baltimore-Washington Parkway southbound in Laurel at 197. Accident, waiting for a tow truck, a little slow through there as well. Winston Churchill's words stirred his country in the face of defeat. Today they inspire us to reach for our own victories. Commitment, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Fast Acting Advil. For today, becoming mostly cloudy, highs around 80 degrees. Cloudy overnight with showers down to the mid-60s. Tomorrow, showers and temperatures falling by afternoon into the mid-50s. Fast-acting Advil, it has fast-absorbing Advil Ion Core technology and goes to work in minutes. Try fast-acting Advil today. Find it in the white box. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. It's the C. Allen Morning Show with Trendy Lindy C. Allen. If you're just tuning in today, we started yesterday with, we started last Monday with the Rejection Series, Part 1. This is our Part 2 and final series on rejection. Now that we talked about what causes rejection, our topic today is on your mark, get set, go. We talked about being on your mark means to be in your lane. First of all, you have to get in your lane. You have to figure out what is it that God has for you to do. What is my passion? What am I going to focus on? What is it that I'm going to do? And being a part of getting on your mark, that means that you're going to pull your act together. This is just a review of what we just talked about before the commercial. You're going to mind your business. You're going to put God first. You're going to know what you want. You're not going to take on more than you can handle. We talked about the signs when you can tell that people aren't on their mark. They're doing too much, as the young folks say. You're doing too much. They discombobulate. They don't have a clear vision. We talked about how people are talking out their vision while they're trying to discuss what their plans are, but they're trying to talk the vision while they're trying to create the vision. Not placing priorities. Having thought things out. And one of the things that we need to remember is, in order to be on your mark, you must have a clear vision or plan. You must know how to execute it. Oftentimes I tell people, if it's going into business, going into something where you want to open up and start something, being an entrepreneur, part of being on their mark or on your mark, you must have your finances together. You must be working on getting your credit straight, and most importantly, ready to see it to the end. Now, but it's something else I want to talk about, Trendy.
Okay, all right.
Have you seen a race or watched a football game and someone would start prematurely before the gun sounded or before the whistle blows? For those of you who watch television and all of that, it's called a false start. And oftentimes someone was anxious, overzealous, and at times others started because they started. So think about when you look at a game or when you look at a race, and before the gun sounds, you see two or three people, because when one person jerked out there being overzealous, you saw two or three others win, and it is called a false start. So Trendy, that's no different than you or I. Because sometimes we run to open up businesses and folks jump in with us, but we're really not ready.
That's the truth.
A false start, when we jump the gun it is an indication, Trinity, that, we don't have self-control.
Wow.
So listen, because jumping the gun and going offside are sure signs that one lacks self-control. They indicate a person who cannot subjugate his or her zeal, Linda, to the rules of the game. A person guilty of these infractions misdirect their effort, wasting valuable resources of time and energy. And how many times, ladies and gentlemen, have we wasted precious time on frivolous things?
My goodness.
How many times have we jumped the gun? We're in our lane and we're jumping the gun before our time. How many times are you? I got a good one. A lot of times, Alonzo, in the beauty industry, you see people who can barely graduate from school. I'm not going to call no names.
Don't call no names, sir.
Hancocks.
Oh, no.
Can barely graduate. But now they're ready to open up businesses and ready to get out there and start hustling and make it happen. And I said to them, I'm not saying that you will not be great, because I know that they're going to be awesome.
Yes.
But number one, you got to get on your mark. Get on your mark means that you got to get in your lane. Get in your lane means that it's no time for false starts.
Yes.
I want you to think about, let's think about, it's Easter time, so let's think about the Israelites.
Okay.
And there were probably many who tried to cross the Red Sea before God parted it. And you'll find someone who really jumped the gun. And yes, crossing the sea was a work God wanted the children of Israel to perform, but he wanted them to perform it on his schedule.
Yeah.
Now, the over anxious Israelite, I'm sure, got wet. And so worse, some of them probably even drowned.
Yeah.
So how many of us jumped the gun before it was our time?
That is
excellent.
I'm preaching that was good. I'm ready to pass the plate. That thing was good.
How many of us jumped the gun before our time? If my sister Roberta was listening, she can tell you Chet Bennett, who everyone thinks is so successful, Alonzo, at one time was a fitness trainer.
Yes.
He was on his way to get his aerobics license.
Yeah.
I had Lily Roberta, my mother, in the basement following me doing aerobic stuff. And what happened to that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Next, I said I was going to be a realtor. So I went to real estate classes, and then it was time to take the test. I didn't pass the test, so I just let that go. There was times when I said I was starting a culinary arts program, spent all this money. I'm going somewhere with this. I spent all this money buying pots and pans and equipment and custom grade and commercial grade stoves and refrigerators and all of that. And my mother, everybody jumped in with me because it was a false start.
My God.
Come on here. How many times have the HVAC program that I was going to do, and going out the clock construction and everybody trying to get them to invest in a program that never took off because it was another false start. So I want y'all to understand that it's not just me, but all of us. We come to a place when it's time for us to get on our mark. Are we really in our lane? And remember what we just talked about. We talked about how oftentimes we waste so much time because we jump before the gun, which means that we have lack of self-control. So we go out there and we waste our time on frivolous things.
My God, that is powerful. Well, I feel a little bit better knowing your story, C. Allen, because like you, I've been a fitness trainer. I've been a realtor. I actually failed the test 3 times, but on that 4th time I passed. But I'm not a realtor right now, so I don't think I was in my lane. It's important. That was excellent. That was worth actually writing down and really paying attention to that, because you can have all of the giftings and all of the thing that you want to be whatever you want to be, but if it's not the right time and if it's not the right season, it's not going to work. So we need opportunity and we need season and skill to all come together so that it can work out. And sometimes we only have one of the components. We have the skill, but we don't have the experience, or the timing isn't right. You know, you need to know, is this winter for me? Is this summer? Is it spring? What season are you in? What should you be doing today? And what should be next year? You have to figure it out by getting a precise and clear vision of what you want to do. Get you a plan, some goals, write you some goals, set long-term and short-term goals, and work your plan. You had to tell me that the other day. I said, see, Allen, okay, you know what? I need some more cash. And I'm always trying to devise a plan on how to make that happen. So Mr. Bennett was like, okay, Trendy, you got this going on, that going on, and some other things going on. Let those things work. Finish those things out, and then at the end, you're going to have all the cash you need. Be patient. Let the process play out. Don't be so quick. Don't be so anxious to see the thing happen now. See, our problem is we need instant gratification. But if it come fast, it'll leave fast. You got to put the time in. There's something called seed, time, and harvest. When you plant the seed doesn't just spring up a crop right away. You have to wait. The time has to be put in. It has to have some sunlight. It has to have some water. The seed has to be nurtured and cultivated before you get the harvest. So we can't just expect to have that thing come about as soon as we plant the seed. Let the seed take its proper course, and then you will reap the harvest. My God.
Yeah, yes. But you know what? Now, I wrote something down here I want to kind of read and kind of talk about, because one of the things that I think happens that when we get on our mark, we're still on our mark.
We're still on our mark.
We haven't got to get set.
Okay.
And we haven't gotten to go yet.
We haven't got to go yet.
We're still on our mark because we want people to understand the importance of being in the right place and being in their lane. And I kind of jot this down over the weekend. Preparing for work. Far from idle, we're still talking about runners and football players getting ready, getting on their mark, getting ready to do it. And I wrote down the runner crouching in the starting blocks has work to do.
Yeah.
So does the football player tensing at the line of scrimmage. That work, however, is not to perform the main event, but to prepare for it. Let me say this again. Far from idle, the runner crouching in the starting blocks has a work to do. So does the football player tensing at the line of scrimmage. That work, however, is not to perform the main event, but to prepare for it. The wise runner best uses his time at the blocks to clear his mind of distracting thoughts. To remind himself of the stride he must assume, to rehearse what his coach advised about pacing himself advantageously. Likewise, the football player uses the moments before the center snaps the ball to review the planned play. Or if he is playing defense, to study the configuration of players on the other team to try to determine their strategy. Never should this preparatory activity include thoughts of past victories and past glories. Listen to this. Wise preparation is always forward-looking. So I said all that to say, when we are preparing to leave the block, when we are preparing to, when we say on your mark, when we're preparing to take off, we must first stop, pay attention, kind of listen, we must first kind of be I call it in a getting ready to stand still. Because what happens is that when we get on our mark, before we take off, we have to clear our mind of all kinds of thoughts, negative thoughts. People saying you're not going to do it. When I was about to start the school, when I was getting in my mark, when I was getting in my lane, when I was getting ready to go, when I was on my mark, I had to take away those thoughts of people saying this isn't going to happen, that's not going to happen. I had to look at the strategy. I had to look at what I was going towards, how I'm supposed to get there. So what I'm doing is, while I'm getting ready, while I'm on my mark, I am now planning for what is about to take place. Olympic trainers have become aware in recent years of the vital role of mental preparation and how it plays in athletes, before the performance. Successful gymnasts and divers learn to pause before the event to rehearse mentally the moves so they can often practice. Mental preparation is important because it allows the contestant to focus without distractions on what he or she must do in order to win.
Wow.
All right, everybody. When we come back, we done already got on our mark. It's time for us to get set.
Wow. I'm ready.
You're listening to 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We're trying to bless someone today. We'll be right back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Morning, I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by fast-acting Advil, fast-absorbing Advil, iron core technology that goes to work in minutes. Try fast-acting Advil. Well, President Obama is extending his condolences to the families of 3 people killed in Sunday's shootings in Overland Park, Kansas. Police say a man in his 70s fatally shot 2 people at a Jewish community center and then another at a Jewish assisted living facility. Mike Metcalf and his son were walking into the facility when he said he heard gunshots.
I looked over toward the noise and I saw a man standing next to a vehicle with a gun raised to his shoulder, and I also saw someone laying on the ground in front of him.
Oh, the suspect has been identified as a former Ku Klux Klan leader. This was the police chief there in Overland Park, Kansas.
It's too early in the investigation to try to label it. We know it's a vicious act of violence, and obviously at 2 Jewish facilities, one might make that assumption, but we're going to have to know more about it before we'll label it.
Well, closer to home, D.C. police are investigating after 4 people were shot early this morning. This happened in the 1900 block of 19th Street, southeast. The scene is right around the corner from Orr Elementary School. It's unclear if police were still searching for a suspect. Sports, the Nationals swept by the Braves. And adding insult to injury, Ryan Zimmerman broke his thumb over the weekend. He's expected to be out of the lineup for the next 4 to 6 weeks. The Washington Wizards are playing Miami tonight. As the NBA regular season winds down, the Wizards are trying to hold on to the number 6 seed in the playoffs. In this report, brought to you in part by Advil Congestion Relief, the only cold medicine that delivers a 1-2 punch at pain and sinus pressure. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
All right, everyone, we're back here live here on the Sea Island Morning Show, and we're getting so excited now. We need to just kind of slow down a little bit. For those of you who are just tuning in, what we're discussing today, our topic is on your mark, get set, go. We came up with this topic because last week we had a serious discussion on rejection. We kind of talked about how to cope with rejection, how to handle rejection, and what is the purpose and how we can have a positive spin to being rejected. And once we've done that, then it's time for us. I asked God, I said, okay, now we talked about rejection and a lot of it was kind of on the downside. But now that we understand why we act the way we act and why we do the things that we do, a lot of it has to do with our childhood. A lot of it has to do with not being able to let go of what happened to us years ago, of feeling ostracized and all of those kind of things. And then it comes to a point where, remember, I often quoted Martin Luther King in his book, Why Can't We Wait? He said, and I'm paraphrasing it, I see what the white folk has done. I hear what you're saying, but the question is, what have you done for yourself? Today I'm here, Sea Island, just to kind of awake you that are listening to me to say that let the past be the past. You're 40 years old and you're still holding to what happened to you when you were 13, and I definitely understand the difficulties and I understand the heartaches and I really understand the pain But the question is still to remain, are you going to continue to live when you were 13 and the awful thing that happened to you, or are you going to get on your mark, get set, and go? I think oftentimes we must remember that is where it ends. It ended when we were 17. It ended when we were 22. In order for you cannot let your past determine your present or your future. So you got to let go of my mama didn't hug me. Nobody told me they loved me. All of that kind of stuff. A part of the rejection series that we talked about last week was we definitely understand, and we both, Trendy Lindy and I, shared a little bit of our past, the brokenness, the feeling of not being wanted and all of that. But how long are we going to stay in the past? We have to now understand that we have a race to run. We have a job to do. There is opportunities out there that's waiting for you, and you're still stuck in yesterday. In order for you to get on your mark, that means we talked about getting in your lane. You have to remember that yesterday is in the past. When you're on your mark, you are looking towards the future. You are looking towards what is about to happen. You're not looking at what happened, because that's past tense. What I've learned, Trendy, is to take what has happened to me and how do I turn that situation into something positive.
Yes.
Many people are walking around and they're listening to me. They are still hurt. They're still broken.
Yeah.
They still have all of these issues, situations. They still hold it on to yesterday. Yesterday is gone.
It's gone.
I received a call on Saturday that kind of knocked me off my feet. One of my makeup counter assistants that worked for me a couple of years ago, her name is Danella Gas. When she left us, she went to the Estee Lauder counter at the I keep saying Hex, but it's Macy's now. Mm-hmm. I received a Facebook message that she had passed on Saturday, and it just touched my soul. Because one of the things is I can remember her spirit, and I can remember Danella. And I was visiting her in the hospital when she was at Howard. And when she came home, she came to the Celebrity Beauty Weekend. And I know she didn't have a lot of strength, but she tried to hang in there with us on her cane in her 30s. But the Lord saw fit to do something different. Am I Alonzo, going to weep and moan and weep and moan and weep and moan? Absolutely not. One of the things that I think should happen, ladies and gentlemen, is that when the Lord takes someone on, when someone's time is up, we all have an expiration date.
True.
The question is going to be, what did I learn from Danella being here? What kind of experience did I have, and what can I do to move forward? Because at the end of the day, everyone, we're talking about moving forward.
Yes.
So when we say on your mark, we're talking about getting in your lane. When we say get set, we're asking you to get into that starting position. We did not tell you to move, but we want you to get in the starting position. Assume and hold your launch pose. This is different than simply taking your mark, because in most races, this or a similar procedure, no movement is allowed by the runners between when this is said and when the gun goes off, or go is called. You know, when we look at it in British terms, it means wait for it. I'm about to go there. It's a reference to a slight movement, but not noticeable enough or severe enough for them to call it a false start. Everybody, when we talk about today, get set, we want you to know that once you have figured out what your plan in life is, once you are in your lane and you know that this is the lane that you're supposed to be in, I want you to just stand still. Because what happened to me, Trendy, is by standing still, we're now able to hear God speak. How many times have I said to all of you, you have to go in your closet, or you have to go into the bathroom, or you have to go into a quiet place and do nothing but meditate so God can speak to you. Because when we talk about, we said on your mark, but when we talk about get set, this is when you're going to go into that holding place. You're going to stand still. Exodus 14:13 says, and Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. What I want y'all to understand is, in order for you to get ready to go out of there in that position, after you got your thoughts together, after you got on your mark, now you got to stand still.
Yes, you have to stand still and wait and see, what God is going to do. A lot of us think that, we have to do it all. Everything is up to us. But if you are a person who believes in God and your life is in his hands, he's going to do a lot of the fighting for us. In fact, the word says that the battle really isn't ours, that it belongs to the Lord. And a lot of times, all we have to do is go to the fight, show up at the place. All you have to do is go there. For many of us, it takes faith to even make the moves to go there, because you're fearful of what's going to happen when you get there. So some of you never even go and try to do the thing. Some of you don't even try to take the risk because it's a risk. You don't know what's going to happen. But sometimes all you have to do is show up and watch and see what God will do. And it's been amazing. Let's break it down and bring it right to your street, or to my street, right to my neighborhood. When it comes to going to the gym, sometimes I don't feel like it. And I know some of you don't feel like going to work out either. But we have to do it if we want to look good and be healthy. But and you push yourself. You push yourself to get there. And as soon as you get there, you just get this burst of energy, and you do that workout, and by the time you leave, you feel way better than when you started. Sometimes you just have to push through the I don't feel like it. You have to push through, you don't know what's going to happen. You got to push through the unfamiliar, and you got to do what you need to do so that the things that you want to happen can happen. I want to tell you a story. Okay, so we talked about being on your mark, and we're talking about getting set at this point. But some of you, I want to go back to when C. Allen talked about the mental preparation and stilling yourself and clearing your mind. See, the thing about going through certain things is sometimes you get delivered from a situation, but your memory is not delivered. You're delivered. You're out of the situation. You've been rejected. You've forgiven the person, and you've moved on. But your memory is there. The thoughts, all of the things that's happened is still in your mind. And a lot of times it's like a tape recorder that keeps playing over and over and over again. And you focus more on what's going on in your head. She said, I'll never be nothing. He left me. They didn't choose me to get the part. They wanted someone thinner. They fired me or they made me train this person and made that person my boss. All of these types of rejection keeps playing over and over in our heads, and sometimes it hinders us from moving forward. But we have to learn something from the rejection. We gotta come to the place in order to get on your mark and get set. You gotta learn from the rejection. You gotta ask yourself, did I play an active role in my rejection? Was I coming to work late? Is that why they found someone to replace me? Because I did some things. You have to take ownership sometimes for what you did, and then you change that thing so that you can get on your mark. We have to take ownership. A lot of us still pointing a finger and blaming Tom, Dick, and Harry, our mama. We can't do that. We have to take responsibility. And then some of us talk ourselves out of situations. What did you learn?
Good. I want you to hold it right there, Trendy. We got to go to commercial break.
Okay.
And when you come back, what Trendy is doing, everybody, is she's also Today's topic is on your mark, get set, go.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're going backward and forward just to let you know that in order to get on your mark, get ready to go and go, you have to also make sure that you follow the steps and the procedures that you need to do in order for this to be successful, because some of us are running a race that we're not supposed to be running.
That's right.
Some of us are in positions that we shouldn't be in.
That's right.
Some of us are in places where we shouldn't be. Some of us know that our dream and passion is doing something else, but we're running frivolously.
Aimlessly.
So she's going to talk about a little bit of that when we come back. This is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Rhodes Bacon Serve. Accident was on D Street Southeast near 19th Street. Look for police on the scene right now. Also still there near Union Station on 1st and H Northwest. The accident also in town on Georgia Avenue at Peabody Street. So a few things to watch out for right now off the interstates. Hot cinnamon rolls for breakfast. Rhodes Anytime Cinnamon Rolls from freezer to table in just 30 minutes. Rhodes Rolls, the best thing in your grocer's freezer, the best thing to have on hand in yours. Now, your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For today, becoming mostly cloudy, highs around 80. Showers overnight down to the mid-60s. Turning cooler tomorrow with some showers, temperatures falling into the 50s. You might be surprised at all the services Jiffy Lube provides for your vehicle, and you never need an appointment. Visit JiffyLubeDC.com for info and a location near you. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning, everyone. We are back here live on the Sea Island Morning Show. This is Trendy Lindy, and this morning we are talking about on your mark, get set, go. We have been discussing rejection this morning, and last week we started talking about rejection. What is rejection, and how do you cope with rejection, and what do you do about it, and things of that nature. But today we're talking about how to bounce back from rejection. What do you do after you've been rejected? How do you move forward? How do you press forward? How do you go on and make something better in your life? So we're going back a little bit to understand how we get on our mark. Some of us still have to deal with some of the residue of the rejection. Just because you've dealt with the situation, you've confronted the rejection, you've actually possibly forgiven the person, and you've moved on in your mind and everything, but you still haven't gotten going yet. You still kind of stuck and stagnated. A lot of times you have to really deal with the rejection in its totality. You can't just, leave a piece of it there. You need to deal with it and really confront all of the issues. And the last thing that I said before we went on break was, what did you learn from the rejection? Did you actually have an active role in the rejection? Was any of it something on your part that you could change, that you could redo and try to make better so that same thing won't repeat itself? Because one thing that I have learned in being in the Lord and being a Christian, a lot of times I learn a principle of God, and I learn a truth in His Word. And a lot of times you're not just going to read the Bible, go to Bible study, and attend church without being presented a test. See, God is a father. He's God, but He's our Father, and He's also the awesome anything that we can need, teacher, doctor, or whatever. But once He allowed you to learn a specific principle, then He's going to allow certain tests to come through.
Absolutely.
So you need to decide, was that rejection on something that I could improve on, or was it just a test from the Lord? Was it a test to see how bad I really want the thing? Because a lot of times, as soon as we get a little bit of rejection, we just throw everything away. You put in all of this effort, all of this energy, and the thing didn't work out the way you wanted, so you just throw the whole pot out. Well, isn't it something you can keep? I mean, you don't have to throw everything out if some of the things you can still use. So we have to decide what role we play. Let me tell you a little story, just a small story. I always say, and I may have got this from someone, I believe I got it from one of those motivational speakers, because I'm always listening to motivational speakers, but sometimes a setback is a setup for a powerful comeback. You know, a lot of times we look at a setback being you just awful, just bad, and it feels bad. It's a horrible, horrible feeling to be set back. But if you adjust the way you think, if you adjust the way you perceive the situation and look at it in a different light, you can find a blessing in that situation, and you can come back and be even more powerful than you were before. For an example, if you've been rejected, say for instance in a relationship, one of the most powerful tools that you can do is come back better. If you were a 6, come back a 8. Do something to pull yourself out of that thing, so the next time that brother or sister see you, they be like, I left that. My God. And let me give you an example. This is true. I was married for a number of years, and I married my friend, and we were good friends.
Oh,
and everything.
Lord, I came back right on time. I've been out the studio, and she telling me, Lord, I can't leave her alone for a minute.
I gotta tell the story.
Are we still on your mark? Get set.
Yes, we're on rejection and bouncing back from
okay,
rejection.
Okay, go ahead. I came in right on time. She thought talking about her marriage. I want to hear this.
You are so funny.
I'm back.
But anyway,
go ahead.
So one day I was at the Red Box, and I'm at the Red Box just checking out the movies and seeing what I'm going to rent. All of a sudden I hear this voice behind me saying, my, you sure look good. And the voice sounded familiar, so I continue looking at the movies and everything. And then he said, oh my goodness, what would I do to get to know you? I turned around. I said, well, if you don't know me by now, you'll never know me. It was my ex-husband.
Oh, my God.
It was my ex-husband. When I turned around, he said, Linda. He said, oh, my God, I tried to hit on my ex-wife. I said, yes, you did. And it was funny because I told him, if you don't know me by now, and he just bust out laughing. But the thing is, and then he said, well, Linda, my God, are you a makeup artist now? My face was flawless. Y'all know I am the director. You know I am the director of the Celebrity Makeup Symposium. But anyhow, so he was just thrown off. My face was just and then he saw me from the backside. We ain't gonna discuss that. But anyhow, so what I'm saying is I came back better. Oh, because I get it. You know how I get excited.
Okay, go ahead.
I came back better. When he saw me, he couldn't even recognize me from the front, back. He just, it was just wonderful. So all I'm saying is bounce back from that rejection. Whatever it is that didn't work, figure out your part in it. Take some responsibility. If you played a part in it, straighten up, shift yourself, position yourself so that you can be better when that opportunity presents itself again. Because opportunities come to us all. Are we ready when it shows up? Are we prepared, and are we in position when opportunity presents itself?
Absolutely.
So bounce back from the rejection.
Absolutely. Today, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about on your mark, get set, go. We already talked about on your mark, and let's kind of stay here for a second, Trendy.
Okay.
When we say get set, we're asking you to assume and hold your launch position. This is no different, again, it's about no movement. You're getting ready. You're standing still. You're getting ready to take off. So now that you got your vision together, now that you're clear, when you get set, this is when you're right at that tipping point. Mm-hmm. Some of you today that's listening to my voice is already in your lane. You already know what you want to do out of life. You've already got past the rejection. You've gone through the rejection. And now you're supposed to be in a holding place. This is a place for you to be clear, to make sure that this is what God has in store for you. When I first started, my holding place was I wasn't sure that opening a beauty school was for me. So what I had to do was I had to seek the higher power for a clear indication or a clear understanding that this is what I was supposed to do. Many of us, we hear that voice inside of us telling us that we need to leap forward. We hear that voice inside of us telling us, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today to go forward. Oftentimes, it's like I use the analogy of walking on water. How oftentimes we are afraid to walk on water because it is the faith part that gets us messed up every time, because you know that God told you to open up that law firm or to open up that agency or to be a blessing and do certain things, but you're afraid. I'm talking to that person that is already in their lane, but they're afraid to take off. And what happens is you must stand still and get that confirmation, that second voice, to know that this is what's happening. This is what you need to do. Remember when we talked about getting on your mark and you're being overzealous and you're doing a false start. Now we don't want to do a false start. So before we go, basically getting set is clearing your mind. Getting set is because you already have the vision. You already know what you need to do.
Yes.
Getting set is clearing your mind. Getting set is standing still. Getting set is not moving. Many of us, once we get the clear vision, we're ready to take off. But sometimes you have to be in that standstill position. I said to myself, Trendy, I said, besides waiting on my nephew, Darius, to finish sending me the pictures for the book, I said to myself, is it procrastination that my book, My Business is the Beauty Business, haven't hit the shelves yet? Or is it because I'm in my standing still position because it's not time?
Wow. Yeah, that goes back to knowing what season you're in. You know,
because a lot of us, we want it, and my mother is listening to me now, and she's saying, Lord have mercy. You're talking to Chet, you're talking to yourself, because we want stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
We're living in a microwave syndrome. We want stuff to be done in 2 seconds.
That's right.
No one has patience any longer.
That's right.
I look at the drivers driving down the street and how if you wait 2 seconds, they're bumping a horn or they zooming around you.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bicyclist that's out there that gets on my nerves. They jump in front of your cars and all of that because they're on a bike. They don't feel like that they should wait at the light, the traffic light and the stop sign. Everybody is in such a hurry.
rush.
We go to New York City and I said, my God, I like to stand in the street and see everybody. They moving like robots. They're going so fast. Even at the Bennett Career Institute, we have students who try to do their matriculation so quick so they can get in and get out the door. Sweetheart, you need to stand still.
True.
You need to stop in your tracks. You know that this is what you're supposed to do, but before you go out, not to make a false start, you just need to just stop, stand still. You need to see clearly. You need to know what's going on. You need not to move at all. And this is for some of you today who are ready to put that deposit down on that business, ready to get that house, ready to move, ready to do this, ready to do that. First of all, you need to stand in your position. Let me talk about Rashida Franklin for a minute. I hope she listened. I'm calling names out today a long time. You know, she said to me, as you know, she's a graduate. She started at Signature. You know, she was saying, I'm ready to leave my mother's house. And I told her, I said, Rashida, you need to stand still. And the reason why I said that is because she's already in her lane. She know what God has for her to do. She know her passion. But oftentimes we have to slow down, because once we begin to move and once we don't stand still and see what's going on and pay close attention, we fall into the lane where we begin to become overzealous and start to do things that really isn't a part of the plan nor the will of God.
True.
Do you know that a lot of us, including myself, God has one plan for us. We do something else, and we realize later on why we haven't been successful financially or otherwise in that thing, because we wanted to do what we wanted to do. It doesn't work that way. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to commercial, but you're going to end up doing what God has for you to do, boo. I'm so sorry. Because he's the creator, and no matter, and it's so funny because we go around Robin Hood's barn and we do all sorts of things, and we end up right back in the center where God had us placed in the beginning. All right, everybody, it's commercial time. I just hit Linda so hard with that word. Because Lord have mercy, she got her eyes all squinched up. Give us some music, Alonzo. We got to take this out. She got her eyes is all squinched up because we do that. We take our plan and we go on what we want to do. But on your mark, get in your lane, get set, don't you move. Then when the whistle blows, we have to go. All right, everyone, it's commercial time here. I hope you're learning something. It's C. Allen in the morning, 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
1450 WOL.
If your child is choking, stand behind them and wrap your arms around their waist. Place the thumb side of your fist against their upper abdomen. Put your other hand over the fist. Now press the fist into your child's abdomen with a quick inward and upward thrust. Repeat quick thrusts until object and airway.
You know how to help your child if they're choking, but do you know how to help them if they have a drug problem? Visit drugfree.org for information, help, and advice.
A message from the partnership at drugfree.org and Prevention First.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pen and jot down this special number. Call 800-891-4904. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for much less money. Call 800-891-4904. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99. Best of all, there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials, and watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Call 800-891-4904. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut cost and get more. Call today. 800-891-4904. That's 800-891-4904. Again, 800-891-4904.
Our lives are affected every day by innovations from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Visit uncf.org or call 1-800-332-UNCF. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. and WPRS HD2 Waldorf, Washington. A Radio 1 station and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
All right, everyone, we're live here, our second hour on the C. Allen Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, and we're so excited, we have Tyrone on the line, but if you're just tuning in, what we're talking about is our final topic or our final series on rejection. Last week, if you tuned in early, we talked about rejection, what causes rejection. This week, now it's time, our topic is on your mark, get set, go. Tyrone, good morning. Welcome to the C. Allen Morning Show. It's always a pleasure. How are you this morning?
Fine. Good morning to you, C. Allen. Good morning, Trendy.
Good morning.
Good morning to Henry. Boy, you are right on target. You always are, and you certainly are this morning. A lot of times, C. Allen, we just don't stand still long enough, and therefore we don't realize what God really has.
Turn your radio down, Tyrone, so we can hear you.
I turned it down.
Okay, turn it down some more.
Okay, then. You getting feedback?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, then. I was saying that a lot of times we don't hear what Father God has really for us because we don't stand still long enough to know what he has for us.
Mm-hmm.
We're so in a rush until we don't really take time to look and ask ourselves the question, or ask him the question. Father God, what do you have for me?
Absolutely.
Now that I've reached this point, that you've allowed me to reach this point, what do you have for me to do next? If we don't take time to do that, so we go running off into the middle of the night, and a lot of times we miss our blessings that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically all I wanted to say. And you all have a blessed and safe week.
Thank you, Tyrone. And you know what, Trendy? Tyrone said something that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just tuning in, we talked about getting on your mark, which means getting in your lane. Now we're still on get set. And part of getting set is the part that a lot of us, this is the hard part.
That's the hard part.
It's the hard part, Trendy, because, getting on your mark, we are in our preparation stage.
Yeah, and there's some excitement sometimes getting on your mark.
There's excitement about getting on your mark, and this is why some of us become overzealous, and this is why the anticipation and the adrenaline gets to the point where some of us make false starts.
Yeah.
So we got that part about being on your mark.
Mm-hmm.
The issue now falls in on getting set, because getting set is now the position where you're not to move.
Yeah.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of Ayanna when she talked about how she was on Oprah and she was ready for her show, but Oprah told her that she wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
Because she knew where she wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
But the difficulty is during that getting set time.
Yes.
Because it's almost like some of you who are really good hairstylists or painters or cooks, and you're ready to just take that to the next level. You're ready to go out there. But there comes a time, and this is good, everybody, there comes a time that once you realize finally what God has for you to do, you're ready to do all these things. I think about the preachers that are ready to do books and CDs and tours and all of that. But before you even do all of that, you have to get into that set mode where you don't move, because that is part of the formation.
Yes, that's part of the process.
Let's think about as a baker. Before we put certain things in the oven, we have to make it, and then we have to let it sit first.
Yes, marinate.
To form its mold. I think about when I'm going to get you.
Those ribs.
Is that, who's on the phone? Is that Richard?
That's Tyrone or Richard? Richard. We just
Richard. Okay, we just talked to Tyrone. Richard, I'm going to get you in a second. But I think about when I'm making soap.
Oh, the soap.
And when I'm making soap, I do the preparation with the water and and with all of my ingredients. But then once I make the soap, I just can't, Alonzo, just take that liquid soap and start putting it on me. I have to put it in a mold so it can set.
Yeah.
So before I can put it in the freezer for it to firm, for it to get hard, I have to now put it in a mold, and then I have to set it before it's time for it to go. Some of us need to just sit down.
Yeah. Have a seat.
Some of us need to go in our place. We know what we need to do, but now it's time for us to stay still, because the gun haven't sounded. The whistle has not blown yet. It is time for us to get in that position and wait. Let's go to Richard. Richard, good morning. Welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. You know what, Richard? I said I'm going to make you and Tyrone the presidents of the Sea Island Fan Club so we can take this to another level, because we truly appreciate Richard and Tyrone. What's your comment this morning? On your mark, get set, go.
Thank you for taking my call. All three of you are phenomenal, and I can't wait until the show comes on when y'all leave today. I want to wait for I'm looking forward to next week. But commenting on your subject matter today, you're very right. People want things instantly, and they have always wanted things instantly, but even now in year 2014, it's gotten even worse. I'm thinking about a bee and a butterfly, when before it becomes a butterfly, the process it goes through before it becomes a beautiful butterfly. I'm thinking of
about the caterpillar.
Caterpillar, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Or the egg before it hatches. I grew up out in Montgomery County, and they had chickens and things. And we used to go by when the chicken was beginning to hatch, and try to pick the shell off. And my mother used to always scold me or smack me. She said, "No, he has to go through the process, because when we took the shell off before it was ready, he died."
Mm-hmm.
So I think people need to recognize that it takes a long process. Yesterday was a good example. I've told you I'm learning piano, and unfortunately I do have a church to play. But I had practice and practice and practice and more practice. But when I got there yesterday, I screwed up the song. And that's part of the learning process, the embarrassment and all that. That's what I have to go through. And I didn't want to go through it. But that's part of the process of learning to become a pianist. But thank you for the subject matter today. And you're right, people now want things instantly. We live in an instant world, but it takes a process. Michael Jordan, he can tell his story. Colonel, the guy who did the Kentucky Fried Chicken, he can tell his story. Oprah didn't become a success overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to listen to those stories. President Reagan, according to the news media, he's one of the most popular presidents in the history of the country. Not in my opinion, but according to the status quo. But he was almost 70 years old before he became president. So some of us, it does take a little longer than others. But the quote that you said, Cindy Lindy, about as a step back, that actually comes from Willie Jolly.
Okay.
And I'm sure you heard, because he comes on every day and on another station.
Oh, I didn't
but
know.
All right, Richard.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.
have a good day.
Thank you. You know, C. Allen, we're on the part about the get set part.
Yes.
That part is really, really difficult, because if you are a go-getter and you are a visionary and a fast person, because both of us are fast people, we like this all over the place, but we're doing a whole lot of different things, and most of it gets done because that's just how God made us. But if you're that type of person, it's extremely difficult to be in this get set place, because you're not where you started, and you're not where you're going to go. You're not where you're going to be. You're in that in-between stage. It's like being in a hallway, and you can see where you came from, you can see where you're going, but you're just stuck in that middle place, and you stay there, and it's so frustrating not being able to move and allowing that time, to whatever to happen. This is where I am now, C. Allen. I have done several things. I mean, I've been a salon manager. I've been a examiner on the salon boards, and competed in national hair competitions, and done all of these. I've done so many things, and sometimes my flesh, I get in that flesh, and I say, well, I love C. Allen and love the whole Bennett career family, but because I've done all that I've done and been a real estate agent and all these different things, to sit in the office and answer phones and to do events and stuff sometimes seems very mediocre to me. And I sometimes have to ask God, well, Lord, you've shown me this for my life. I've seen that. I've seen I've seen thousands of people you said I would minister to. Well, it don't look like it's sitting in the office behind a desk.
Okay.
But in that in between stage, that's when you're being broken of yourself, because when God put you before people, He wants the glory. He wants to use you. He can't use you if you're all full of yourself and fleshy. So I'm in that middle stage, middle part, and you're also mentoring me.
But you know what else, Trendy? And the funny thing is that I may be mentoring you, but I'm also in that set part.
Yeah.
Because I say that I already understand, Alonzo, that my calling is not being behind the desk.
Yeah.
I'm behind the desk all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel where I'm supposed to be when I'm up teaching in front of people, when I'm inspiring people, when I'm here today on the radio station. And I see what God has for me, but I also have to just sit myself down.
But
and I have to
isn't
wait.
it difficult?
Oh, absolutely. There are
we
times.
make it fun.
What we have to do is, because see, part of that sitting, ladies and gentlemen, is the part where God is still creating things and teaching us things.
Yeah.
Because during my sitting part and during your sitting part, this is the most difficult time. See, everybody ready for us to get to the go part because they ready to go. But on your mark, meaning that you getting in your lane.
That's
get
right.
set, meaning that you don't move.
That's right.
You stand.
Stay the course.
What you do is you get in position to move.
Yeah.
But you don't move.
But you don't move.
And see, and that part is the part where we say, oh my God, it's commercial time. Lord have mercy. Oh, everybody, please. Please, we got to go to commercial break. I tell you, we celebrated Palm Sunday. This Sunday is Easter. We're hoping that we're helping someone, but we got to go to break. We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning's WOL traffic update is brought to you by Preparation H. Alabama Avenue, Good Hope Road, accident with police on the scene. Watch for police direction there. Also, it's still ongoing, the accident on D Street near 19th Street Southeast. D and 19th Southeast for the accident, and near Union Station on 1st and H Northwest. Accident still there. Hemorrhoids, try Preparation H, relief with the power of 2. First, fast-acting Preparation H medicated wipes, then longer-lasting maximum strength cream at Walmart. Use as directed. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Food Lion for today, becoming mostly cloudy, highs around 80, showers overnight down to the mid-60s. Tomorrow, showers and temperatures actually falling in the afternoon into the 50s. Looking for more savings? Check out the MVP Coupon Hub at foodlion.com. Choose from hundreds of coupons and save on the product you love most. Food Lion, grocery shopping made sensible. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live on the Sea Island Morning Show. Our time is winding down. We're talking about on your mark, get set, go. And you see the set part where I was before we went to commercial break. The set part is the most difficult part because we now have to get in position, but we have to stand still. And oftentimes we have so many false starts because we're ready to take off because we know what we're supposed to do. We're ready to take off, but you have to remember then on that get in that position part, this is where God is showing us how we must understand patience, long suffering. I said to myself, I took out all of my assistants on yesterday. We went to Woodmark Grill to talk about our 10th anniversary as Sea Island Systems and our 18th anniversary as the Bennett Career Institute. And I started thinking about, and every assistant at the table was one that I had to lay off or fire at one time or the other, but we were all there because I keep the lines of communication open and we still have good relationships because they were all former students of the Bennett Career, so there's still that level of respect regardless if they were fired or laid off or what have you. But one of the things that I often thought about, Trendy, was doing that get set where we're in that launching position and we can't go anywhere. This is when it is God's time to train us. This is where we fall and get back up. This is where we have to get into that position where we can't move. And I'm talking about we can't move when people are disloyal, when people steal from us, rob from us, when people talk bad about us, this is during that position where you're in that stand where you are believing God, you know what's out there for you, but it's not time quite yet for you to move into your destiny. And that's the hard part for us, because we see what God has for us. You know that God is going to make you the head and not the tail. You know that he has something awesome for you. I remember my pastor told me when I was on the steps of the Webster Street Church at 12 years old, he said, God is going to make you a leader, ruler over many. He went on and he prophesied, and yes, I may have 1,000 or so graduates, and I may have 60-some employees and all of that, but God has already shown me that's just the tip of what he's going to do. So of course I'm ready to take off running and go and be the next Joel Osteen or whatever that he has for me. But guess what? We got to get in that ready position.
That set position. You have to stay set.
We have to stay set, because it's not time. Because also doing that set position is where maturity comes in. Because guess what, Alonzo? I think about it. I said, if God did a get ready, on your mark, get ready, go 10 years ago, I would probably not even be here, because the things that I experienced 10 years ago has taught me and has made me the man that I am today. So at 45 years old today, 10 years ago at 35, I didn't even start really getting thrown up against the wall and really start experiencing life until the last 10 years. Because, I had to experience loving someone so much, but then they turn on you. I had to experience doing everything in the world for somebody and they still talk about you. I also had to experience how to deal with money, how to handle money, how to deal with it, and trust me.
And we still learn.
I was just about to say, I know my mother, she's turned the radio up now.
And I can see her lips twisted to the side.
Either she turned it up or she turned it all the way down, because C. Allen is still working. And that's the reason. But that's the reason why I'm in that launch position.
That's right. That's right.
Because what if God blew the whistle? What if it was time for me to go, but then I don't know how to handle money? And when something comes abundantly and you don't know how to handle it, the easier you get it, the easier it goes.
That's right.
So I'm saying this for some of you who are trying to figure out why you're in that freeze position. You're in that freeze position is because, Trendy, there are more things that you got to learn.
That's right.
There are more hills that you have to go up and down.
That's right.
There are more things that has to happen. We're ready to do book tours and this tour and that tour. But how are we going to do the tour and don't nobody know who we are? We got to build a more audience. We got to build a bigger audience. We have to be able, listen to me, we have to understand that our time and God time is different.
That's right.
What else can we learn during this positioning? Because we talked about that we have to, when you get set, it's assume and hold your launch pose. And see, that's what we got to understand. That getting set doesn't mean that we sit there and we wait. No, we have to be in that position to go, because we do not know when the whistle is going to blow.
Yes, we got to stand still and rock steady. You just stay right there.
I said
that's not easy.
But it's not. But I said to the students, Alonzo, I said to the students on Thursday, I said to them, I said, we have to get in the position that when that opportunity comes, we have to ready to go. Some of us, ladies and gentlemen, that's listening to me, we are not even in the launching position.
That's right. Not ready.
We're not in a position that if the opportunity come to say, now it's time for you, Alonzo, to get on American Idol with your guitar and all the other stuff you play, will you be ready?
Yeah.
Some of us, that answer is no. When the opportunity comes for you to get on TV, own your own business, all that kind of stuff, this is the time for you to get in your launching position. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in to the Sea Island Morning Show, we're at the part where we're on our mark, and now we're getting set. In order to get set, in order for us to go, we got to get in that launching position first. Think about a diver, how he gets there and he get in his position and then he takes off. Think about a racer, how he get on the mark. Think about how they put their thumbs where it's supposed to go and all of that. And then they put their body in position because they're waiting for the whistle to blow. Think about the football player that gets in their position and they're ready for the whistle to blow. They're not just standing there trending. Yeah. They're not waiting for something to happen. Yeah. They're in that position. And this is good. The problem that I have today is a lot of us is standing and we waiting for something. We're not even in position. What you waiting for? Oh, I'm waiting for the whistle to blow, but you're not even in the launching position.
No.
So I would say to everyone today, you need to get in your position. Mm-hmm. If you know that you're in the job that you're supposed to be in, this is the job that God gave you, and you're trying to figure out why you haven't gotten the promotion and why you haven't moved on, that's because you're not in that launching position. You're not in that position to go. And what happens when we don't get in a position to go and we still go anyway? It is catastrophe.
Exactly.
You need to think about a bomb in its launching position. Think about a rocket in its launching position. You need to think about whatever it is that you're supposed to do in life. Before you get to that position, you have to I wish y'all could see me. I'm acting like y'all could see me. Before you get to that point where it's time for you to take off, you must be in position first. And I say today, oftentimes we talk about the people who don't know what their purpose in life is. We're not talking about those people.
Yeah.
We're talking to you who know what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Why aren't you in that position to go? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. On your mark, get set, go.
You know, Sea Island, this is the part of the process that's the longest as well. That's the part, but
wait a minute though, Trendy, that's it right there.
Yeah.
Trendy said, everybody, that part is the longest, but guess what? According to who? Mm-hmm. The problem is the whistle can't go, it can't blow, the gun can't sound off, and God can't release us until we get into that position to do it. And oftentimes it seems like at a race that you are in that position forever. But guess what? It's only a couple of seconds.
Mm-hmm. That's true, because anything can happen suddenly. That thing can blow. But I'm reminded, for anything that's going to be great, if there's going to be a great building, the foundation has to be as great. So being in that set mark is like building that foundation. Even our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, he only was here on the earth 33 years. And for 30 of those years, it was preparation time. He didn't start doing miracles, signs, and wonders until he was 30 years old. So he had 3 years of ministry, but 30 years of preparation. So just for us, the same for us. Because I feel like, okay, Lord, well, my God, am I going to be 60 before you do this thing in my life?
And you know what? It's funny you said that, but you got to think, though, too, and that our time and God's time is different, but what we have to remember is the miraculous things that he can do for us at 60 years old.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm not, because there are times that I say to myself, my God, you 45 years old, you about to be 50. And when God gave you what he was supposed to have, what you supposed to been doing, I thought you would have been doing that by now. But you can't look at it like that, because the question is, are you ready? The question is, are you disciplined enough? part of being set is being disciplined to hold the pose and not do anything.
And not move, not waver, not abandon or abort the assignment. Because a lot of us jump ship because it's taking too long.
Absolutely.
We got to stand the pose and stand still. And the other thing is, when God releases us, he wants us to be able to remain and keep the blessing, to stay there, to endure. A lot of times, you go too soon. You can't even handle the pressure, the temptation.
But that's why going too soon is a false start. That's why going too soon, we talked about it earlier, is a false start. A lot of us today, what you have to do is you have to get into that holding position, and you have to go. That is that molding portion. That is that time when you are configuring, or God is configuring what he has. You already know what he has for you to do, but now is that time of that stand still, that time to listen to that small voice, that time to really understand before we leap, because there's going to be a time when that whistle is going to blow.
Yes.
The gun is going to sound, and then it's time for us to go. Well, right now it's time for us to go to a commercial. But when we come back, Trendy Linda is going to start with the go. On your mark, get set, go. This is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. My God, time goes so fast.
When you're having fun.
We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
I'm Doug Parrish. Here's the latest from News1.com, brought to you in part by MedStar Washington Hospital Center, just named one of the 100 great hospitals in America by Becker's Hospital Review. Well, there's a new strategy in the continuing search for the missing Malaysian airliner. An unmanned submarine is now being deployed to comb the floor of the Indian Ocean. It will continue trying to locate the source of a series of black box pings that were detected last week.
2 hours to get down to the bottom of the ocean. It will then be on task for 16 hours. It will then take 2 hours to return to the surface and 4 hours to download and analyze the data collected.
Now, as you can tell, a lot of effort going into this latest mission. It's been more than a month since the airliner disappeared, with nearly 240 people on board. Closer to home, a fire destroyed a home overnight in Waldorf. The home is along Henry Court, was completely gutted by flames. No one at the home was injured, thankfully. They're still trying to figure out what caused the fire. D.C. police are investigating a quadruple shooting overnight. This happened on 19th Street in Southeast, just around the corner from Orr Elementary. Police did not say how severe the victims' injuries were. If you think you've paid a little more for gasoline lately, you're not imagining things. AAA Mid-Atlantic says the price of gas has risen an average 13 cents over the last month.
I follow my balance, my bank balance, and that tells me that something is not right. Something's no good.
And AAA says it expects prices to creep even a little higher this coming week as more travel is expected over the Easter holidays. And this report brought to you in part by fast-acting Advil. Fast-absorbing Advil Ion Core technology goes to work in minutes. Try fast-acting Advil. I'm Doug Parrish. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to News1.com.
1450 WOL.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. Seattle Morning Show. We're down to the wire. 28 minutes before 12 noon. I tell you, time go by so fast when you're having fun. We're doing our recap here. Now, last week we started off with rejection, talking about how to handle rejection, how to deal with rejection. Today's show is on your mark, get set, go. The 3 command when start to race. On your mark, that means get in your lane, get in your spot, know what you need to do. Get set, meaning get to that starting position, get to that launch that pose, get ready to take off. And finally, go. Go, everybody, means take off. Now that God has released you, you need to go ahead, start blessing others. Live out your dreams, follow your heart, help other people, open your business, live your best life now. When we talk about go, you reach for the stars. You let nothing hold you back. Don't look back. You keep going ahead. Part of the problem is when we get into that go position, oftentimes we look back. Why do you think that some people who have become super successful, you don't hear from them? Why? It's not that they forgot where they came from, but they're on a forward motion. Oftentimes, when you see the racers go, when they begin to look back, it sometimes begin to slow them down. I'm here today to tell you, who cares about who's on the right and who's on the left? What you need to do is you need to go. The race isn't given to the swift nor to the strong, but those who endureth to the end. You need to go. So all of you who have been rejected, we come from out of that rejection. We have to now get in our lane. We have to launch that pose, and we have to take off and reach our destiny.
Yes, and all of
I wish I had some clapping music, Alonzo. Some clapping music. I tell you now. Go ahead, Trendy.
Yes, when it's time to go, that's the time when we put all of that preparation, all of that energy, all of that time, all of that planning into play. And we get in that position and we take off and we go into the areas that we need to go into. We got to pump our arms. We got to roll back those sleeves. We got to put our legs up and push. We have to actually push to the finish line. And the thing is, we all want to win. There's no one who wants to lose. And so if you're going to win, you have to take off and you have to do all of those things that you saw in that dark season, in that time when you were set and you weren't moving. You have to put all of that fire. When you were see in that set time, you were building up ammunition and fire so that you can go. Now that you set and you got that release, the green light to go, you got to go for it.
And when we think about go, which is a verb, to move or proceed, especially to or from something, to leave a place, depart, to keep or be in motion, listen to me, a certain state or condition. What I want you to understand, everyone, that there comes a time when you have to leave a place. Oh my God, I'm about to get I gotta bring this one in, y'all. My time is up. But there comes a time when we have to, what I say to my friends is, Kim, was Kim, keep it moving. Everyone under the sound of my voice, what you must understand, that when we learn what rejection comes from, when we get on our mark, when we get into that position, when it's time for us to go, we must depart. We must leave the place. How in the world are you going to reach your fullest potential if you're still at the starting line?
My God.
You already got the vision. You already know that the goal is to get to the end. And when the sound happens, you still stay in that position. Some of us, the green light is already there, but we're not moving. Some of us, the flag has been waved and we haven't left the starting point.
Cars are bumping their horns behind you, telling you to move.
Some of us are still in, and you listen to where I'm going, everybody. Some of us today are in the same position that we were in 20 years ago. Some of us, I've been teaching CEU classes since January, and some of the people have said to me, I've held my license for 20 years, but I have not done anything. You have the vision, you have the launching position, but you're not moving anywhere. And that goes back to what Linda was saying earlier. Stop looking back at what happened to you. Stop focusing on what somebody else did. Stop even focusing on the part that you had to play. There comes a time, everybody, that you just going to have to get up and go.
That's right.
There comes a time when you're going to have to say to yourself, enough is enough. I'm not going to be stagnant any longer.
That's right.
I'm going to go. When we talk about go, then we're talking about, to move to or proceed, especially to or from something.
That's right. Or somebody. Sometimes we have to let people go so that we can go.
There are times that we get into the launching position on get set, and we have people that are there because oftentimes we lose focus, and when we get set and get in that launching pose, we freeze.
Yeah.
We get in that launching pose and we get still. Think about some of my old folks that's listening, and I love you so much. Think about what happens when you sit in that chair for so long. After a while, when you get up, you're just as stiff as I don't know what. Those old bones are telling you that you got to move around. Or how about, and I just truly believe this, people retire and they don't do anything. Next thing you know, they're gone on because they become in a position where they freeze. They stop moving. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for you to grow, you got to go.
That's right.
In order for you to reach your destiny, you have to move. In closing today, because we have some announcements to make, we want you now, everyone, to email us the THECALAN morning show @gmail.com. Give us your comments, or Facebook me, Chet CHET Beauty King Bennett on Facebook, or the THEC Allen morning show on Facebook. I want to hear from you. Today we're talking, or if you want to send me a personal email, it's Chet Bennett, BCICHET BENNETT, B as in Bennett, C as in Korea, I as in Institute @gmail.com. Today our topic was on your march, get set, go.
Yes. Most of us like that word go. Go. But it can also be a scary word. Going. Sometimes, we know where we want to go, but sometimes it's a scary thing to go because it's unfamiliar. We don't know what's going to happen when we go. So sometimes we just got to put the fear. We got to drop off the weights. You got to lead the starting line. Yeah, you got to lead the starting line. We got to drop the weights off of fear, the past. We got to drop the weights off of negative people. We got to drop off certain things. See, some of us, we want to keep our same clique and our same crowd. I'm stuck on the people thing because a lot of times we allow others to hinder us, even our family. For myself, see, y'all, and I love my family, and I will stay in that hole with them sometimes because I want to pull them out, but I have to realize I have to get to a certain level so that I can pull them out efficiently, not stay in the muck and mire with them, but someone has to leave and go, prepare the place, so the others can come. So sometimes you just got to leave behind those things and those people who are not going in the direction that you're going in. For example, Abraham in the Bible, he had plenty. And God told him that he had to separate from his nephew Lot. And he told Lot, whichever way you want to go, whichever area you take, I'm going to take the opposite, because God told him you got to leave all of your kindred, all of your family. You have to leave all of them behind. Take your wife and your children and go. And sometimes that's difficult for us to do, to let go people that's close to us and move past where we've been. But sometimes it's necessary if you're going to possess the promised land, if you're going to possess the things that God has already prepared for you. you're going to have to let some people go.
Absolutely.
And that's difficult for most of us. I know for myself, I have to sometimes not pay attention, to my sister when she calls and want me to do this and want me to do that. No, that's not what I'm going to do today. I may put you on my calendar and and schedule some time, but to allow people to take up so much of your space and your time, you gotta guard yourself a little bit more if you're going to reach the successful places that God has for you.
Absolutely. So that concludes our topic. On your mark, get set, go. All right, everyone. This is Easter week, and you know that the Bennett Career Institute is half price on every day, especially senior citizens. It's half off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I want to see you all tomorrow if you are a senior citizen to get your beautiful Easter due. Services start maybe $10. You can get a wet set $11, $13. That's how much it costs for our senior citizens.
Wow.
Up to $19 for that relaxer and set. So I want to see you at 700.
So what age does that start at?
62 and above.
Okay.
700 Monroe Street, Northeast, Washington, D.C., 217. We're next to the Brooklyn CUA subway station. Is our clinic floor. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is senior days. Wednesdays and Fridays is half price on chemicals. And we're open all day Saturday from 8 until 2. We want you to bring by your grandbabies and bring by your children and your sisters and your aunties. Come and join us at the Bennett Career Institute to get your hair done. Haircuts for men, regular cuts are $5. Our fade haircuts are $8. We also do a shave for $3. And so we offer these prices, and we have award-winning students. All services are performed by supervised students at the Bennett Career Institute. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go over all of the great things that are coming up at the award-winning Bennett Career Institute. This is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Geico. On 295 southbound, very slow Boris Avenue down to Benning Road, but everything is open. If you're heading up to BWI Marshall Airport or Baltimore, use 95. There was pothole patching on the northbound BW Parkway through Laurel, really slowing you down. Alabama Avenue, Good Hope Road, it was an accident with police still on the scene. What does it mean when Geico says just 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance? It means you probably should have gone to geico.com 15 minutes ago. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Jiffy Lube. For today, becoming mostly cloudy, highs around 80, showers overnight down to the mid-60s. And for tomorrow, showers with temperatures falling into the 50s during the afternoon. You might be surprised at all the services Jiffy Lube provides for your vehicle, and you never need an appointment. Visit jiffylubedc.com for info and a location near you. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Yes, we're back on the C. Allen Morning Show, and this is our last segment of the hour. We hope that you were blessed by our topic today. On your mark, get set, go, in our both parts, our rejection series. And like C. Allen said, if you have any comments or questions or anything else that you would like us to talk about, please email us and send us your messages. I'm here now, and I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. On May the 5th, we are going to have the Men of C. Allen Signature in the studio live with us. And if you haven't heard about the Men of C. Allen Signature, they are the new thing that's going on. They are a group of professional barber students who are rendering the ultimate pampering service. And when I say the ultimate pampering service, I mean hand polishes, foot polishes, and awesome facials. And what we're doing is we're going to be scheduling appointments for them for all of your bachelorette parties, for your Mother Day events, for your any type of events where a group of you ladies are getting together and you want some really talented, fit, very professional men to just come and be a part of your exciting event. We are going to be booking nice little schedule for them, but they're going to be in the studio. What we're doing is we're going to be talking about relationships on May the 5th, and they're all reading this book. The book is called Learn a Man, Earn a Man by Barry Fletcher. He's one of our hair gurus he's local in the DMV area. He wrote a book called Learn a Man, Earn a Man. He also have wonderful products. We're going to try to have him on the line as well. But we're going to have our men in here discussing the book and the things that they agree with and the things that they don't agree with. And so for all of you ladies who are interested in possibly booking them for your next event, we'll be able to offer you a special price on May the 5th. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a very, very exciting show.
All right, everyone. Yes. So not only the men of Sea Island. So for those of you, you need to contact Linda if you would like to make your appointment, 526-1400, extension 18. I think that's very important. But what I'm excited about, is the event that is coming up on May 17th and 18th, which is the Makeup Mania. The Makeup Mania is a makeup conference at the Bennett Career Institute on May 17th and 18th. Jay Sterling and Timothy is smart and introducing celebrity photographer Sam Copeland. It's a 2-day powerhouse hands-on session with the awesome artist as well as the photographer. We go deeper in editorial makeup and perfecting clean beauty images. All the classes are hands-on, all the models included. Photos are taken after each session, and great for portfolio building and set training. If you're interested in that course, you can go to our website and you can register. Also, that's May 17th and 18th for all of the barbers. We have the summit, the Barber Summit, that is coming up on June the 8th, which is the week before Father's Day. That's only $15 if you're a licensed barber. You can register for that on our website. In July, we have the hands-on classes with Danessa Myrick. It's an 8-hour boot camp class, lunch included, for the Danessa Myrick's hands-on class. And then in August, we have the Master Makeup and Life class with Oprah Winfrey's Reggie Wells. So we have something going on May, June, July, and August at the Bennett Career Institute. You can go to our website, which is www.bennettcareerinstitute.org, and be able to get to register right online. Also, our Reunion Hair Battle DVD goes on sale today. It's only $14.99. If you missed the show, you can go right online and click on the flyer, and then you can register, or you can just order your DVD. So one of the things that I think is important is if you mail it, it's a $2.49 fee. But then if you want us to pick it up, we can pick it. You can, of course, pick it up for free. So those are the things that are going on at the Bennett Career Institute. Now, one of the things that I think is important, because Mother's Day is coming up, I wanted to send a special shout because this coming Friday is my mother's birthday.
Yay!
So happy birthday, Joyce Bennett.
Happy birthday,
So
Mother
for those
Bennett.
students and clients that are listening to me, if you happen to be in the building on Friday, make sure you wish my mother a happy birthday. Truly a awesome lady,
Yes.
A very close friend. Birthday is on this coming Friday, so we're just super duper excited about her birthday. So, we're just really, really happy. But the thing about the Men of Sea Island trending is what makes them so different than regular guys doing pampering. What makes the Men of Sea Island system doing pampering different than any pampering party?
Well, I can think of several things, but mainly these are beauty professionals. These young men, some of them are licensed barbers already, and then we have some that are in barbering school. So they're in the field of beauty. They're concerned with beauty, health, and everything that deals with beauty. So that sets them apart. Not only are they in the field, but they live it out. Their bodies are beautiful, gorgeous, muscular men, and they enjoy pampering women. So I think that's wonderful. There's a lot of people don't want to touch others' feet, but the men of Sea Island Signature, they're going to do the hand polishes, the feet polishes, and they are going to do wonderful facials. I tell you, our Caesar, he's one of the men of Sea Island Signature Salon. He has a line waiting for him to do facials. I mean, from the men to the women, he does a phenomenal facial. So we are offering services that you can't find anywhere else. So it's going to be a great time. For those of you who were at the reunion show, you saw a clip of the men and what they can do, and they were just awesome. They were phenomenal at the show.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that are happening is, because someone accused us of saying that the flyer looked like it was male strippers, but basically what Linda is doing, and we're so excited for Trendy Lindy, she has a group of beautiful guys that will go out, and you can call in and you will get a hand foot polish as well as a massage. And what we're doing is we're promoting our new line of products. And so what's happening is that for those who are interested in the ultimate pampering, remember what we say, pamper yourself is your duty. Why? Because you are worth it. And we do that for a reason, because a lot of us, we never take time for ourselves.
True.
When was the last time you had a massage? Many of you have never had a massage. When was the last time someone got in and gave you a scalp massage? Got up on that scalp? When was the last time somebody took that hoof out, that foot of yours, and gave you a really good exfoliation, took some of that dead skin off that foot? Now, we're not doing no pedicure, but what we're doing with the purpose of the massaging is we use the Sea Island sea salt to take off that dead layer of skin so you can have beautiful, supple feet, nice and soft. So, Alonzo, when you get in bed with your girlfriend again, she won't say, if you don't stop scratching me and scarring me up with your foot, all of that kind of stuff, because you came to the Men of Sea Island Signature. The address is 705 Florida Avenue Northwest, but you must schedule. They only come for special appearances.
Yes. And you can call 202-526-1400, extension 18, if you would like more information or if you would like to schedule an appointment with the Men of Sea Island Signature Salon.
Absolutely.
And it's summertime. It's spring. It's spring. It's time to wear those flip-flops and sandals and toes out. You want to have nice, soft, and a supple feet. You want the feet to look good. So supple feet.
Oh, have mercy. Not suckable, Linda. This is a family show, Trenty.
I'm not going to even repeat that.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
So listen, everyone, our time is almost up. What is important for you is I want all of you to try to stop by the Bennett Career Institute, 700 Monroe Street, Northeast, Washington, D.C., next to the Brooklyn Subway Station. For all the guys, haircuts are $5. Our senior citizen days, again, are Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 to 2 and then 5 to 7. The price list is also on our website, which is www.bennettcareerinstitute.org. Has the price list there, which will allow you to even look at the prices. If you are a senior citizen, that's half off. If you are anyone else, for the chemicals, that's on Wednesdays and Fridays. Now, we're also enrolling students at the Bennett Career Institute. Mr. James Carter is on extension 17. If you know someone that would like to be a part of the award-winning Bennett Career Institute, they can go to extension 17 in order to register. Now, for those of you that are interested in any of the events that we posted, which is the Makeup Mania in June, the Barber Summit in July, the Danessa Myrick's in the Barber Summit in June, Danessa Myrick's in July. or on August, the life class with Reggie Wells. You can call Linda West Point 202-526-1400 extension 19.
Now, see,
18.
Allen, for the makeup mania and things like that, they will be certified makeup artists at the conclusion.
Well, what happens is that we're going to give them certification, so they will get a certificate.